So the question is, how are we above everybody else? Deuteronomy 1 and 1. Start there. And then Psalms 147.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 1, verse 1. These be the words which Moses spake unto all Israel unto all Israel on this side Jordan.
Okay, give me Psalms 147. So these words in Deuteronomy is only spoken to all of Israel, all you Israelites out there. Read that in Psalms.
Psalms chapter 147, verse 19. He showeth his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel.
Read.
He had not dealt so with any nation. And as for his judgments, they have not known them.
You see that? So this word is only given to Israel. Deuteronomy 7 and 6. So let's see how special Israel is. Read that.
Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 6. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God had chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
Amos 3. Amos 3. Because when we come into this, man, we join a family, the greatest family on the earth. Right. All right. And we need to start living like that thing. Read that.
Amos chapter 3, verse 1. Hear this word that the Lord has spoken against you, O children of Israel.
O children of who?
O children of Israel.
Read.
Against the whole family which I brought up from the land of Egypt, saying.
So this Bible was given to all of us, and it's spoken against us. The prophecies, the promises, the curses, the plagues, it's all for us. Read.
You only have I known of all the families of the earth.
You only have I known. All right, give me that in Joel. Bring it up.
The book of Joel, chapter 2, verse 27.
Read.
And ye shall know that I am in the midst of Israel, and that I am the Lord your God,
Read.
and none else.
Give me Matthew 15:24. So that was the Old Testament. The New Testament changed, right? Christ ain't only for Israel, is he? Hey, read that.
Matthew chapter 15, verse 24. But he answered and said, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
So how special are we? Christ said it himself. Hey man, I'm only saying here for the Israelites.
That's right.
Matthew 18 and 11.
The book of Matthew chapter 18, verse 11. For the Son of Man is come to save that which was lost.
Special. He came to save the lost sheep of Israel. Revelation 21 and 12.
Revelation chapter 21, verse 12. And had a wall great and high.
So the kingdom of heaven here. So you ask how special are we? Read.
And had a wall great and high, and had 12 gates. And at the gates 12 angels, and names written thereon, which are the names of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel.
So God put protection at these gates, only for you. He gonna keep everybody else up out of that thing. Only the 12 tribes is getting in there.
That's right.
I'm gonna carry on. Give me Isaiah 40 and 14. Carry on to show you that it doesn't stop there. The whole Bible is against the other nation but us. Give me that.
Isaiah chapter 40, verse 14. With whom took he counsel, and who instructed him, and taught him in a path of judgment, and taught him knowledge, and showed to him the way of understanding. Behold, the nations are as a drop of a bucket, and are counted as the small dust of the balance.
To show you that you are special. The Most High God count the other nations like a drop of a bucket. A little bit of water that fell off of a bucket. Give me 2nd Ezra 6 and 54. That's the same thing. Officer already drilled like about 7 or 8 scriptures saying the same thing. Read.
2nd Ezra chapter 6, verse 54. And after these, Adam also, whom thou madest Lord of all thy creatures, of him come we all, and the people also whom thou hast chosen.
Who is that he chose? Israel. Read.
All this have I spoken before thee, O Lord, Because thou madest the world for our sake.
Whose sake?
For our sake.
Our sake. The whole earth was created for us. Read.
As for the other people, which also come of Adam, thou hast said that they are nothing.
They are nothing. Like what?
But be like unto spittle, and has likened the abundance of them unto a drop that falleth from a vessel.
The Bible is redundant. That's it.
You said to touch on who is Esau, right? That's the second part of the question. Let's go to Nahum, chapter 3.
The book of Nahum, chapter 3, verse 1. Woe to the bloody city! It is all full of lies and robbery. The prey departeth not. The noise of a whip, and the noise of the rattling of the wheels, and of the prancing horses, and of the jumping chariots. The horseman lifted up both the bright sword and the guttering spear, and there is a multitude of slain, and a great number of carcasses, and there is none end of their corpse. They stumble upon their corpses.
All right, so the scripture says, woe to the bloody city. All right, now, so the prophet Nahum prophesied during what time? Who was ruling? Joshua.
The Assyrian captivity.
Right, the Assyrian captivity. Go to Revelations 13 real quick. There's a lot of ways to show Esau's the devil, but sometimes you just want to get creative. They're the devil in many ways.
That's
all
right.
throughout the scriptures, but you can go different routes. This is how we're going about it today. Revelations 13 and start at verse 2.
Revelation chapter 13, verse 2. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power, and his seat, and great authority.
All right, when it says like unto a leopard, and his feet and his feet were as the feet of a bear, what is this talking about? Go ahead, brother. Stand up.
We'll be talking about the Greek captivity and Russia.
No. Hey, you in the spirit though. In the spirit, you tried. Johan.
That's going into the prophecy spoken in the book of Daniel, chapter 7.
All right, let's go there.
7 to 4.
All right, stand up. Keep standing up. Read it and break it down for us.
The book of Daniel, chapter 7, verse 4. The first was like a lion, and had eagle's wings. I beheld till the wings thereof were plucked, and it was lifted up from the earth, and made stand upon the feet as a man. And as a man's heart was given to it.
All right, who's that talking about? What nation is that talking about?
The Babylonians?
The Babylonians, correct. Come on.
Verse 5. And behold, another beast, a second, like to a bear, and it raised up itself on one side, and it had 3 ribs in the mouth of it between the teeth of it. And they said thus unto it, Arise, devour much flesh.
All right, who's the bear?
Persian Medes.
Persian Medes. Come on.
Verse 6. After this I beheld, and lo, another, like a leopard.
Like a what?
Like a leopard.
Come on.
Which had upon the back of it 4 wings of a fowl.
All right, who's this leopard?
This would be the Greeks.
That's the Greek. So you were right on that part. The second part just went elsewhere, but good job. You was in the spirit. Now, why am I going this route? Let's go back. Let's find out. Let's go back to Revelations 3 and 2.
Revelation
13 and 2.
Revelation chapter 13, verse 2.
Come on.
And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power, and his seat, and great authority.
So if you notice, we went to Nahum first to get some characteristics of the Assyrians, because when we get to Revelation, it covers Babylon, the lion. It covers the bear, the Persians and Medes, and it covers what? The leopard, which is the Greeks. So it shows you that this particular beast or this particular man encompasses all of the empires that came before him. All right? Go to verse 13.
Revelation chapter 13, verse 13. And he doth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men.
All right, who did that and what time period? Soldier Dario. Microphone.
The United States of America, they dropped that atom bomb.
During which World War?
World War I.
World War II on, was it Hiroshima and Nagasaki? All right, that was when they made the, how does it say, making fire come down from heaven. That's going into what? The missiles, the atom bomb dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Continue to read, 14 on down.
Verse 14. And deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles.
So this particular man deceiveth everybody on the earth because he was able to do what? Drop an atom bomb. During that time, nobody on the face of the earth had that type of technology or that ability. All right, read on.
Which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live.
All right, so it says they should make an image to the beast, who did have a wound by the sword and did live. Brothers, I want to know, how did the beast get the wound and how did they continue to live? So that's a two-part question. How did they get the wound and how did they continue to live? Show of hands. Brother Simon, let me hear you.
In the book of Malachi, chapter,
Give me the history on that.
okay.
The wound. Let's deal with the wound. When did that take place?
All right, so they got the wound during the Dark Ages. Dark Ages.
Let me hear Soldier Joshua.
The wound goes into the Rome fell, and then
Who caused Rome to fall? Who was the reason? What's his name?
I don't know the guy's name.
Give it to him.
Septimius Severus.
Septimius Severus. What's the year? (193 AD). All right, Septimius Severus, 193 AD. That's when, good job. That's when the Roman Empire fell by the hands of an Israelite by the name of Septimius Severus. After that began the what? The Dark Ages. All right. Now it says, and he did live. What is that talking about? Soldier Joshua.
The Renaissance.
Right, the Renaissance. When he's going into Malachi, the first chapter. We will build, but the Most High will throw down. That's what it's going into. All right. Now read verse 14 again.
Revelation chapter 13, verse 14. And deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles, which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image to the beast.
So they should make an image to this people, all right? Because they were able to do great miracles that they made fire come down from heaven. Who is the only person responsible for doing great miracles? Who is that? Who? God. The Most High God. So they deceived the whole world into believing that they were who?
God.
Gods. That they were God's people. That God was dealing with them. So they said, you know what? We've deceived everybody. We have to make an image to the beast. That's what we had to do. Come on.
Which had the wound by a sword.
The wound by a sword. They fell. Read.
And did live.
And did live. The Renaissance period. They came back. The rebirth. Read.
And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast.
He had power to give life unto the image of the beast. Read.
That the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed.
And that happened to us. That did happen to us. Think about the conquistadors. Hernan Cortez, Christopher Columbus. What did they do over here? If you didn't want to submit to that cross or that white image of Jesus Christ, what happened to us?
You died.
We were put to death. Esau's a damn devil. I'm not
That's
done.
right.
Not done. It's all right, brother. I'm with you. I just want with you. Read verse 2 again for me.
Revelation chapter 13 verse 2.
All right.
And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power.
And the what?
And the dragon gave him his power.
So how does Esau come up with his technology? How does Esau come up with all of these great miracles? Because the devil himself gives Esau his knowledge. That's what we just read. Satan himself gives Esau his knowledge. Now, let's go to Revelations 18. Start at verse 1.
Revelation chapter 18 verse 1. And after these things I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory.
Come on.
And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils.
So remember, the so-called white man or Esau is not just the daughter of Babylon. That's just one of the characteristics. So when you read the Bible, that's why we went this route. So understand, when it's talking about Assyria, it's talking about Esau. When it's talking about Babylon, it's talking about Esau. When it's talking about Egypt, it's talking about Esau. Because they encompass everything from all of these kingdoms. You understand that, right?
Yes, sir.
Come on.
And the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird.
Read.
For all the nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. And the kings of the earth had committed fornication with her.
Read.
And the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacy.
So that's not a deep parable. That's plain. It's talking about trade and commerce. You understand that, right? It's easy. That's exactly what it's talking about. Read.
And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues.
When it says my people, who are God's people?
Israel.
The Israelites. He's speaking directly to us. He's saying, come out of her. Who is he talking about? Come out of Babylon, a.k.a. the white man. America, the white man, Esau, Idumea. Now, let's jump up. Jump up to verse 11.
Revelation chapter 8 verse 11. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise any more.
Come on.
The merchandise of gold and silver and precious stones and of pearls and fine linen and purple and silk and scarlet and all thine wood and all manner vessels of ivory and all manner vessels of most precious wood.
Didn't America just put a ban on Iran? They just recently put a ban on Iran. They already had one on Cuba. So who's the man responsible to have all of this authority to say who could trade this and who could trade that? It's the white man. It's the United States of America. That's what we're reading about right here. Read on.
And all manner vessels of most precious wood.
Come on.
And of brass and iron and marble. And cinnamon and odors and ointments and frankincense and wine and oil and fine flour and wheat and beasts and sheep and horses and chariots and slaves.
And what?
And slaves.
And what?
And slaves.
Read.
And souls of men.
So why did we go to Nahum 3 first? Because we just read Nahum 3 and Revelations. It just said the chariots, the slaves, and souls of men. Meaning what? This particular beast or this person encompasses the same thing that the Assyrians did to our people. Now, let's go to Isaiah the 14th chapter.
The book of Isaiah chapter 14 verse 7. The whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing.
Stop. Hold that. Go back to Revelations 18. Verse 8.
Revelation chapter 18 verse 8. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. For strong is the Lord who judgeth her.
All right. Now let's go back to Isaiah 14. Pick up.
Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 7.
Come on.
The whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing.
Why would they do that?
Babylon is fallen.
Babylon is fallen. All right. Come on.
Yea, the fir trees rejoice at thee, and the cedars of Lebanon, saying, Since thou art laid down, no feller is come up against us.
Death to America. Finally.
That's right.
We don't got to worry about nothing no more. We don't have to worry about democracy. We don't have to worry about Christianity. We don't have to worry about being bullied anymore.
That's
because
right.
Babylon is fallen. Read.
Hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming.
Come on.
And stirreth up the dead for thee, even all the chief ones of the earth. And have raised up from her thrones all the kings of the nations.
Come on.
All they shall speak and say unto thee, Art thou also become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us?
Just like we read in Revelation 18. All of the kings of the earth are going to come together, and they're going to be responsible for what? The fall of Babylon. Read.
Thy pomp is brought down into the grave, and the noise of thy vows, the worm is spread under thee, and the worm covered thee.
Come on.
How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer?
So what is that going into? Heaven is a state of what? Rulership. Deuteronomy 11 and 21. Right? Shows that they are in rulership right now, but it's saying how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer? Speaking about the white man or Babylon, meaning what? Their kingdom is now fallen. Read.
How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations?
Come on.
For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God.
How did they do that? By performing those miracles. All right? By creating the image of the beast, that white image of Caesar Borgia. That's how they did that. By their, Obadiah. Their space system. They went into the stars. They have the space station. These are all the characteristics of the white man. Read.
I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north.
In the sides of the north. What is that referring to? North America. Read.
I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High.
Right. Now, last one. I'm literally just jumping around. Let me see Revelations 12.
Verse 3. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon.
A great what?
A great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his heads.
That great red dragon represents who, brothers? Esau. Read.
And his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven, and then cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born.
What is that going into? Jesus Christ. When Herod sought to kill Christ. All right, read.
And she brought forth a man-child, who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron.
Who's the king?
Christ!
That's what it's going into. Read on.
And her child was caught up into God and to his throne.
Come on.
And the woman fled into the wilderness.
That's what Matthew 2 and 13. Come on.
Where she had a place prepared of God, that they should feed her there 1,260 days.
Read.
And there was a war in heaven.
This just means what? Now it's coming to the time where we need to take our rightful place back.
That's right.
That's what the war in heaven is talking about. It means a war between who's going to rule and who's going to be the servant. That's what it's going into. Come on.
And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon. And the dragon fought and his angels, and prevailed not, neither was their place found any more in heaven. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil.
Called the what?
Called the devil.
Called the what?
Called the devil.
Read.
And Satan, which deceiveth the whole world.
Who was responsible for deceiving the whole world? The white man. So, the white man is the devil.
Shalom. This is Bishop Nathaniel of Israel United in Christ. Please subscribe to our YouTube channels. Stay up to date with our latest events, music, and classroom lessons. IUIC plans to continue visiting different countries where this gospel has not been preached before. IUIC needs your help in pushing this truth. So join us, subscribe to our Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and podcasts, and stay up to date with us. more information, please visit www.israelunite.org.